What is up, everyone? Crunch Frog here, and as you all know, a few days ago we finally received the first content drop for Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 in the form of Season 1. This update brought many changes, fixes, and new content offerings, so today we'll break down everything that was added in the update to give you kind of a one-stop look at everything that changed with Season 1. Now, I will be linking the entire Infinity Ward blog post in the description so that you can take a look at all of these changes, as well as some that didn't quite make it into the video at your leisure. There's a lot to look at here, and I didn't want to include it in the video. It would be way too long, so definitely make sure you check that out at your leisure. As always, if you're new to the channel, make sure to click that subscribe button and turn notifications on to ensure you're always up to date with the latest Modern Warfare 2 news and updates. Without further ado, let's take a look at what Season 1 brought us. First, we will break down the massive additions to this game. These changes fundamentally add a large amount of value to the game, and they're kind of the main selling points for downloading the update and hopping back on to play all of the new content. These are things that players have been waiting for, and honestly, in my opinion, help to round out Modern Warfare 2 to be a much more complete feeling game than the game that we received on launch. First up is the elephant in the room, right? Warzone 2.0. So Warzone is back with a brand new map, Al Mazrah, featuring several points of interest consisting of maps from previous Infinity Ward COD games such as Rust, Terminal, Dome, Quarry, High Rise, and a bunch of other ones, as well as some new points of interest and some that you'll notice from the Invasion and Ground War maps as well, since those maps were pulled directly from the Warzone map. There's also been a bunch of quality of life improvements from the original Warzone 1, including optimization and streamlining of the code, and a change up to some of the game mechanics as well. Again, won't be talking about all of these details. You can find a full list of details and features and changes from Warzone 1 in that Infinity Ward blog post that I have linked in the description. I won't be doing a full review of that right now or giving my thoughts on the mode in this video, but keep an eye on the channel for a video like that here coming soon, where I'll review Warzone and DMZ and a couple of the other things in a little more detail, as well as give my thoughts instead of more objective facts and news like I am in this video. Speaking of DMZ mode was added. Essentially, it's an extraction mode loosely similar to Escape from Tarkov. It also kind of reminds me of the Dark Zone from the Division games. Basically, players spawn on the map with their squad, the Al Mazrah Warzone map, and attempt to loot items and weaponry from, AI enemies as well as strongholds. There's a whole bunch of stuff there to do, and the gameplay is a lot more high stakes, and progress is carried over or lost between matches depending on if you're able to successfully extract. So there's a little bit more adrenaline action going on and a lot more at stake than your typical Warzone or multiplayer map. Overall, it's a super fun, if not slightly underbaked new mode that will surely add a lot of replay value and fun factor to the Modern Warfare 2 experience. And I really hope they expand on this in the future. It's listed now as a quote-unquote beta, so I'm hoping in Season 1 Reloaded and Season 2 and 3 and onward, they keep building out this mode, because at its core it is very fun. And again, I won't be doing a full review or anything here today, but definitely keep an eye on the channel for that review coming soon. Next up, they did add one map to the game so far, and that is a reimagining of the Shoot House map. So the first map offering this year was Shoot House, which was also the first map back in 2019. The map looks honestly incredible with its new visuals and locale. It's actually set in the mountains of Mexico at like a Mexican Special Forces training facility. It's honestly really good to get a fun, frantic map again that kind of brings back combat scenarios that are more exciting and less tactical, as well as more opportunities to complete weapon challenges or rank up quicker, since there will be a lot more high-paced action. Fans have been asking for these kind of maps, whether it be Shoot House or Shipment, which will be coming later. Maps like that are a little less serious and a little more hectic and really useful for gun challenges. There were also some issues initially at Season 1 launch with collision and map geometry and random invisible walls and stuff like that. But since then, there have been a few hotfixes come out that have actually resolved that. So if you're watching this video, after the release, obviously this video is recorded a few days after release. Those have all been patched up and the map plays great. I'm having a great time with it, and I'm sure many other people are as well. There are also 3 new weapons added to the game. So already off the bat, they're throwing 3 new weapons in, and that includes 4 camos for each weapon. So I didn't add this in my script here, but I wanted to mention it. Each weapon that's been added is still following this procedure of 4 new camouflages. So total of 12 camouflages also came with these weapons. So 2 can be actually unlocked via the battle pass, and 1 can be unlocked either as a reward for taking down the chemist boss in the new DMZ mode or as a store bundle. There's a store bundle for that weapon as well, of course, because money, right? Infinity Ward has added a new SMG by the name of the Bass P. This is a submachine gun that's in the same weapon platform, right? The same, family, quote unquote, as the M13 assault rifle that we'll talk about in a moment. And I know in Season 1 Reloaded, they'll be adding another gun to this platform, so we'll see, how expansive this platform gets in the future. There's also a new sniper rifle added in the form of the Victus XMR. This is a 50 cal sniper rifle. I do believe it is bolt action. I've not used it yet. Please don't crucify me on that. The weapon greatly resembles the L96 from the Black Ops series of games and can be unlocked via the Battle Pass. Finally, we have the M13 assault rifle that I talked about there briefly a second ago. This weapon, as of right now, can only be unlocked via, again, buying a store bundle or beating that DMZ boss, the chemist. Me and my crew have gotten it. Basically, you're able to kill it once and extract with that weapon. You can kind of keep extracting and give the weapon to your friends. As long as you extract with the weapon, it will be yours. I won't be, again, going into too much depth on how to unlock it. There's many great videos here on YouTube or TikTok that will kind of show you how to unlock that. But the M13, a fan favorite, obviously the low damage, low recoil kind of laser weapon from the past games is back, and it feels incredible. Next up, new operators were also added to the game. So following the kind of same unfortunate pattern that we saw in Modern Warfare 2019 and onwards, in which one operator is free with a battle pass, it's kind of the feature operator, and then 2 more will be added throughout the season, and those can only be unlocked by paying money and buying a skin. So right now the free operator this season is Zeus, who honestly I think it looks pretty cool, and his end of battle pass camo or skin, not camo, sorry, is really cool looking, and I really enjoyed it. I think it's a great start here. And then obviously 2 more operators, including Gaz, will be added throughout the season. We'll cover that in our Season 1 Reloaded video once we get to that point in December. Next up, for those of you that played the hardcore modes, they have finally added the Tier 1 playlist into the game. So I know this was a huge point of contention for the community, but this means the players will now be able to play in the hardcore playlist. So all of the other modes, they'll be able to play hardcore versions of now. The mode was originally slated to be there on launch day back in October. However, bugs and issues and things of that nature kind of forced the mode to be held back until the Season 1 release. But it's in there now, so the game is now complete in that regard. Next up, a new Spec Ops mission was actually added to the game, hopefully helping to further expand the co-op offering for the game. More Spec Ops missions, the better, especially the good quality ones we've gotten so far this year, and hopefully continuing that story a little bit from the campaign. They've been telling us since launch all these Spec Ops missions and Warzone stuff is going to continue the story, so I'm looking forward to that. They've also released a modified version of the Defender Spec Ops mission. It was, the survival mode from Modern Warfare 3, essentially. Not sure what that entails, but I did see in the patch notes that there is a modified version now. You can also now see star rewards, and you receive stars for collecting intel during the co-op missions. Finally, we have, obviously, the huge Battle Pass, right? So COD has moved to a Battle Pass ever since Modern Warfare 2019. So staying consistent with last 3 releases, Modern Warfare 2 has implemented a Battle Pass system again that is purchasable for the COD point equivalent of about $10. For Vault Edition owners like myself, the Battle Pass is actually included in that and actually gives you 50 free tiers. So half of the Battle Pass is unlocked for free on day 1. I've already claimed all my tokens, unlocked about half of the map. and everything like that. So the Battle Pass actually, though, has been completely reimagined for this iteration, shifting from the linear level up kind of unlock system in the last 3 years to a more do it at your pace and at your discretion format that allows you to decide kind of what you want to unlock first, what you want to hold off till the end, stuff like that. Do you want to spend all your points unlocking just the new weapons? That's kind of what I did. Go for it. Otherwise, if you would rather get some cool charms or calling cards or emblems or whatever, that's all up to you. As with Warzone and DMZ, I could go on for an entire video breaking down every item of the Battle Pass or my thoughts on it or my thoughts on the various cosmetics that come with it. But for right now, I'll just say I really, really enjoyed the new system, the map unlock features that they have and everything like that. And I love that it's no longer so linear and straightforward. You get to kind of move through it at your own pace. And I think it's going to be great for the Call of Duty franchise and is a rare win, a customer-focused win for this franchise that more often than not kind of want to make things harder for the gamers. So definitely great to see. Next up, we'll move on to, kind of more quality of life improvements and smaller updates that may improve the game, but they're not quite as big of additions as the content that we just finished talking about. First off, Infinity Ward has added the customized screen for operators to kind of show you all of the customization options for both skins as well as takedowns. I would assume this menu will later expand more once more monetization items are added, taunts, emotes, other customization options that they will surely add at some point. The feature was vaguely present at launch. I think a few operators had multiple skins, and it only appeared for those operators that had the multiple skins. So you could kind of go in and pick which skin you wanted, but now it's fully fleshed out, and it also has that category for finishing moves right now. Again, probably more will be added later, but it just feels like a more complete menu of sorts that allows you to really customize and make sure your operators look and behave the way you want them to. Next up, the team was able to add back the ping system, which is huge for me, allowing players to successfully ping locations or enemies. This is a great function to see return since it was removed from the game about a day or so after launch because of various game-breaking bugs associated with the system. And in my opinion, this system is almost crucial to the multiplayer mode. We've become so accustomed to it in Warzone. Having it multiplayer feels great. The store has also finally been filled out and now has actual bundles that are available for purchase. Not too many right now. Obviously, you and I both know that'll change. None have really caught my eye so far, to be honest, but I am happy to report that at least as of now, there's no crazy anime cat or girls or Terminator tie-ins or weird 80s action movie tie-ins. Everything is still somewhat realistic and, very near future modern warfare themed. I would expect that to change probably sooner rather than later and definitely by the mid-season update. But at the very least right now it's staying, thematically similar to the launch game. So I'm really enjoying that while I can. Next up is pretty big. I honestly thought about putting this in the first category, but that is the new prestige system. So in a move that no one saw coming, Infinity Ward has actually, partially, listened to fans in regards to the new leveling and prestige system. Levels are no longer reset each season, which everybody, including myself, hated, and players can continue leveling their account up across all seasons. Once you reach level 56, you will become Prestige 1 and receive a new animated badge to indicate your achievement that everyone can see, obviously, in the leaderboards and the pregame lobby, stuff like that. Then at level 100, you'll make Prestige 2, get a new emblem, 150, Prestige 3, and so on and so on and so forth, until you reach the current max level, which is level 250, at which point you will be considered Prestige 5, and that's kind of as far as you can go in this season. Then obviously with the next season drops, instead of just resetting everyone's rank back to 55, they'll just add more levels at the end. You'll keep leveling up and keep your level that you are now, so if you only make it to 80 or something like that in this season, you'll pick back up where you left off. There will just be more levels for you to reach, right? The max level will effectively increase. My guess is probably up to level 500 or 550 for season 2 and onwards and so forth from there, up to prestige 10 and later 20, 30, whatever the case may be. This way, players can level up kind of at their own pace. It cuts back on the FOMO a little bit. No one's progress is lost. It's a always continuing level that you'll build upon for the rest of this game's life cycle, all while giving dedicated fans a way to actually grind levels and show off their accomplishments and not lose that later, right? No one's brought back down to the same playing field. You keep leveling up and you can stay ahead of the game if you so choose to. This system is a huge win for Modern Warfare 2 and COD going forward, in my opinion. I'm so glad that they sort of listened to us. It's not quite the old Prestige system, but honestly, it's almost just as good, in my opinion. So that about wraps it up for the quality of life improvements and things like that. This next section will be dedicated to UI improvements that just make the game a little bit easier to navigate and stuff like that. Not massive updates, but definitely appreciated nonetheless. The combat record has now been added, and you can actually see how much skill-based matchmaking has been able to just smoosh your KDR down towards that crucial 1.0 mark that we all seem to be sitting at nowadays. This also includes stuff like weapon stats and a bunch of other statistics that honestly at this point are just core to Call of Duty games, but for some reason we're missing a launch. So that brings it up to speed. Again, this theme of making Modern Warfare 2 feel whole, like a complete Call of Duty game, that was a major player towards getting that. While the UI is still not great for that combat record, it is a massive leap forward to at least have it in the game, even if it is sobering to see your KDR, which is undoubtedly much lower than games from several years ago. You can also now navigate a challenge menu to view different challenges and begin unlocking new calling cards to use for either your showcase or just your main calling cards. So this is similar to the challenge system of your, get 5 grenade kills, go on a 15 kill streak, stuff like that. This time they unlock calling cards like in the past as well. But just as a heads up, the UI is extremely clunky, kind of in the same vein that the weapon camo is just unnecessarily clunky. It makes you scroll through all of the challenges each time you want to select a new calling card or check your progress on certain challenges. Also note, no progress for any of these challenges have been tracked since launch. The combat record tracked since the very first bullet you shot on day 1, but none of these challenges have gotten progress since then. So you're going to have to start all over. If you have already had 5 grenade kills, guess what? You're going to have to start over now. Basically, it starts today, well, at the launch earlier this week. But, so everything is unlocked going forward. Nothing was unlocked previously, since launch, anything like that. They've also added more challenges to the camo screen, so you can kind of see, that you had to level up to a certain level to achieve that camo and everything like that. And you can now preview what challenges the gun will have. So you'll see at level 10, you'll unlock the challenge for hip fires. The third camo may be, long shots, whatever the case may be. So you can preview those ahead of time as opposed to just guessing and seeing what they are once you reach that level for the gun. Next up, consoles can actually now have a field of view slider in Warzone 2, and I think that goes up to 120 field of view, so that's awesome. People have been clamoring for that for years now, so it'll definitely help to have that. Footstep audio has been quote-unquote improved, although most people have just said that Infinity Ward kind of just cranked the volume back up, so it kind of marks a step backward for the improvements that they've made between the beta launch and the actual full game launch. So they made a lot of improvements, toned down the footstep audio, and now they just cranked it back up. So they've now made the in-game UI a little better for when challenges are completed. So when you're in a match and you complete a challenge or do a camo challenge or whatever, a new banner appears on screen telling you you've completed a challenge. Now it still doesn't flash like the camo like it used to in previous games, so that kind of sucks. But you at least kind of know now when you're completing challenges, and it's not just some ugly little trophy that appears on screen that says nothing, right? It's a lot more user-friendly. It looks a lot better. I'm so happy that they did this. They've also added a screen to choose a custom loading screen, which I have to assume they mean like when you're loading into a game, instead of like the map background, you have a different picture. It seems kind of pointless to me, but I guess it could be cool depending on what kind of photos or animations are added here in the future. And lastly, gun screens have been added, which are essentially just watch faces, from like Modern Warfare 2019 and onwards. But they actually kind of stick to the sides of your weapons. I think the feature's great, and in the Battle Pass, you can actually unlock a screen that shows your KDR. So if you want to be constantly reminded how bad you're getting slapped by the sweaty bunny hoppers hopped up on G Fuel, well, now there's a way to do that at all times since the scorecard no longer shows you how many deaths you have. So kind of see your kills and your deaths on your weapon at all times. I like that personally, even if it is a little sobering at times. I just like knowing. So finally, we'll just briefly note the high-profile bug fixes and balance changes. Again, this won't be an exhaustive list. In the interest of time and in the interest of not making this an hour-long video, I'm not going to list all of them, but you can find that list in the blog post listed in the description. So obviously a large amount of weapon balancing and retuning. Some that I will mention, they did buff the M16. I hear it's a lot more usable now, thank God. And they did nerf the marksman rifles, a little bit longer ADS time, some more flinch, stuff like that. Again, for an exhaustive list of all the weapon nerfs and buffs and changes, please check out that blog post. They listed a lot better than I could here. Several map exploit fixes and map geometry fixes have also been made, including, like I said, all those issues that were found in Shoot House. A few campaign exploits and bugs have been fixed. I can't imagine there's too many of those and everything like that, but they have squashed some bugs that they found there. There have been some vehicle fixes and balancing as well. Various multiplayer map fixes and lighting changes and weird graphical glitches have been fixed. There's also that big fix for the drill charges not quite killing riot shield users. Now that works as intended. So guys, overall this season has packed a lot of content in the games, and honestly in my eyes has finally made Modern Warfare 2 feel like a more complete experience. The game kind of feels how it should have felt day one on launch, right? We see this a lot with modern gaming nowadays. The first season, the first big update, whatever, kind of brings it up to speed with what it should have looked shipped on day one. Bugs are fixed, missing content is actually re-added to the game, stuff like that. There's still a lot of room for improvement, and the game is honestly far from perfect, but it is making great strides to becoming an all-time great Call of Duty experience, and now it feels a lot closer to what we kind of expected to see with this game, so I'm really happy. I'll be doing a full review for this season at the end of the season, right? Breaking down what I loved, what I disliked, my overall thoughts on the update, and at that point in time, what the state of the game will be, after the update as we look forward to Season 2 here in a few months. So make sure to keep an eye out for that. That'll probably be, again, in a month or two as we wind down on Season 1. So as always, guys, if you have stuck with me this long, please drop a like and remember to subscribe for more COD news, COD discussions and commentaries, as well as gameplay and some live stream clips as well. And if I missed anything, if you noticed something it was changed but I haven't mentioned this in this video, please feel free to let me know in the comments section below. So that about wraps it up, guys. Thanks for stopping by, and as always, have a great day.